One thing that I entirely overlooked when planning the position of our vegetable garden was the neighbouring trees and the impact that they would have on our vegetable gardens. I chose the site based on the best location for the sun and proximity to our kitchen. Unfortunately, the trees found our garden beds rather quickly and have made it very difficult to grow in this particular position. To combat the tree roots, we tried a bunch of things: weed mat, geofabric, even thick heavy duty root blocking plastic. All of these trials involved a lot of moving soil in and out of garden beds. Eventually we had success with wicking beds and decided that as the beds break down, we will convert them into wicking beds. This was our first garden that we made over 5 years ago, and the termite damage was pretty extensive. When I pulled it down, a lot of it just disintegrated. As it was untreated, it's getting a second life in the fire pit, and then we'll also add it back to the compost. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire process of setting up a wicking bed. I do have a complete video instruction guide of our 2 different setups inside Dirt Lovers if you're after a step-by-step guides. But just by watching this, you should get the general idea. We've got 3 layers here: a water reservoir, a wicking medium, and the soil. After removing the bed and emptying the soil, I leveled the area. I did have a helper for all of 4 seconds whilst I completed this task. I put down some crushed gravel to get it level before putting the IBC in place. I was like, what is this thing stuck in the pipe? What? Cane toad, gross. There wasn't anything wrong with our existing setup. It worked really well, but I did want to increase the water holding capacity, so I added in some extra slotted ag pipe. And I also wanted to add the sand layer to create more wicking wells, which wasn't in the initial setup. The crushed blue metal did work quite well before as the wicking medium, but I just wanted to try it with the sand. Initially, my idea with the terracotta pots was just to hold the crushed stone in place and take them out, but that didn't work, so I just decided to leave them in. They were just taking up space in my greenhouse anyway. Terracotta pots are pretty useless in our climate. We then did our sand level and tested the water levels. I need to make sure that none of the soil is going to be sitting in the water. This setup is really good because I can adjust the water level as required by twisting my overflow valve, which is handy if I ever need to drain the bed entirely. Once that was all good, I added back in my soil. The soil that I took out of the original bed was resting for over 2 years, and it was devoid of most organic matter aside from those tree roots. It had become a little bit hydrophobic, so I added in some cocoa coir to bulk it up, some compost, perlite, and an organic fertilizer that has compost and cow manure in it. I did add some volcanic rock minerals, and if I do come across any worms in the garden, I'll be throwing them in because there was absolutely none in that original soil. We will be planting this bed out with seeds, but I'm just going to top dress this with some mulch just to protect the soil, and then I'll remove it when we're ready to plant. I know it looks ugly at this point, but we'll be adding another one next to it, and then I plan on lining the 2 to make them look better and fit in so they're not so out of place in this area. But that's our bed ready for planting for our July succession, which I will hopefully be sharing with you guys next week. I'll see you guys then.